The NDA attack, we are just looking at the Nigerian law on banditry. I don't know, because over the week, a friend of mine called me and was asking me, these bandits, are they now terrorists? What is the position of your law on this? He called from the US. Sincerely, I don't know. You are lawyers. You should, I don't know. What actually is the position of the law about banditry, about this, although in some part of the country they say gunmen, you know, and you can imagine they attacked a very fortified place that you regard as a no-go area for an ordinary man. They got there, they did that. I don't know. What's your position?
There is no bandit.
Okay.
In this country, there is no new bandit.
Okay.
If you look at the southern part of the country, when kidnapping became a business, very lucrative one, Lagos started it, coming up with a different law entirely.
Okay.
A special law dealing with kidnapping, you know, capitalizing the act of kidnapping. You know, that law started in Lagos. Ondo follow suit, and some other Benin, that is Edo,
Anambra,
they follow suit, Anambra, and all that,
Benin, all that. Yes.
So now that was when kidnapping became a very lucrative business and people kidnap for money. But before then, in our criminal code, there were laws dealing with when you kidnap, when you abduct. You know, there were laws. But once this particular crime is becoming rampant, is becoming like is now the vogue, the government has to step in, you know, to ensure that the entire society knows that, look, we are dealing with this, especially apart from the way we have been doing things. But the northern states, as of today, the rate of kidnapping in the northern states is more than what we experience in the south. But there has not been a single state that come up with a new law to deal with the issue of kidnapping. Now, in the northern part of the country today, there is no armed robber, there is no kidnapper. They say bandits. This is a language that is a product of an intellectually deep think tank that is brought up, planted on Nigerian people.
Okay.
Just like in those days when they call Nigerian Delta people militants. People started blowing up pipelines. You say they are militants during Jonathan's government. People who come from Niger Delta and come to Ibafohe, Areko, Ikorodu, you still call them Niger Delta militants. You know, that is under Jonathan. It's the same thing Buhari is doing under this government. Under Buhari's government now, there is no armed by the north. There is no kidnapper. All of them are bandits. There is nothing new in what they are doing. If people could come together with sophisticated arms and attack a whole architecture of NDA, my brother, that group, whatever name it might be known, it is a terrorist organization. That is a direct challenge to the sovereignty of a nation. You know, now in the north, what we have in the north is different from what we have in the south. IPOB in the south, they started the issue of self-determination agitation. It was the violent attack on IPOB members before they kind of fled Nigeria that led to this kind of very deep counter-violence that we are witnessing in that place today. That was what happened when Yusuf, the leader of Boko Haram, was executed. It was the same form of attending to social issues with violence, with extrajudicial killing. You know, that made people to now say, look, the only option we have is to go and get armed. Igbo is moving from state to state dually in this country, and people went to his house. They killed people there, and DSS officially owned up to have killed people in Igbo's house. Now, this is a way of saying that these are not normal situations, but people will go to a secondary school and kidnap 100 students, 200 students, and yet you call them bandits. And government, you know, people that have succeeded in bringing the government apparatus to its toes. It's no robber, it's no kidnapper. That is a terrorist organization. That is a direct challenge to the sovereignty of the state. State government, they go and look for bandits to negotiate with them, to beg them. They bring them to town to hold meetings, and they openly tell people where they are into, what they are into. There is no difference from the operation. There is no difference between the operation and the operation of Boko Haram. If we are not very careful, when Boko Haram, just the way they are spreading to all other states of the country now, wherever they are, they operate under this government, they will call them or no government. They will call them bandits. They are not bandits. These are terrorists. These are Boko Haram of whatever, you know, they are variants. They have different factions. If governments refuse to treat them that way, we will continue to live with this experience.
Okay, let's hear Barrister Shakiru on this.
There is a government, a country that thrives on deception. There is a grammar, a vocabulary in psychology, where a man practices self-deception. He tells himself a lie, particularly, to such an extent that he begins to believe the lie as the truth, whereas it is a lie. Anybody telling you about banditry is only deceiving himself. You are dealing with pure criminals, criminality. All our static books on crime, the Administration of Criminal Justice Act at the federal level and state laws, nowhere is banditry mentioned. We have terrorism, black and white mentioned. We have pure crimes mentioned, armed robbery mentioned. But somebody granted an interview to a sister nation, and the person said, forget this deception that government is feeding you. Government is behind what is happening. They know them. They are sponsoring them. The other day, Sheikh Gumi brought out some so-called repentant
Boko Haram
terrorists or whatever. And the young man said in Hausa, it was all over social media, that look, we were sitting down innocently attending to our cows when government, the boy mentioned government brought guns to us. Government is sponsoring us. I have asked this question. People who are now pursuing Samuel Otom, governor of Samuel State, of Benue State, and others who are freely expressing and exercising their constitutional right to say it the way they feel it. Why has Sheikh Gumi not been arrested? Well, Sheikh Gumi that knows where to get bandits, criminals, terrorists, negotiate with them and persuade government to put them in the Nigerian army, to give them houses. I don't know whether you have seen that too on social media. That there's a secret document where the federal government of Nigeria, I said social media, I may not be able to authenticate it, but it's there for everybody to see. That the federal government of Nigeria is actually building houses and paying salary to the so-called repentant terrorists. Never my bandits. The fine gentleman who is supposed to have been declared wanted now or invited said, these persons who are doing this, we profile them, we interview them, they are the leaders of the government now. Who in the right senses will dare go to attack NDA? Do you know how that place is fortified? So, like we say in my language, Bikule Pani to deal with Pani. Without the enemy within, the enemy outside is powerless. We should stop being deceived. We have leaders who are benefiting from the money being paid to these bandits, from the negotiations. Now, we used to know the North for their prowess in producing food, whatever. We had granite pyramids and other things. Today, the North is associated with pure crimes. Not west, not east, nowhere is safe. And I sit down in my simplicity as a common Nigerian, and I ask, northern leaders, all northern leaders, northern politicians, are they not ashamed of themselves? Are they not asking themselves what legacy they are bequeathing to the younger ones? The issue of banditry, that gentleman said it that, look, somebody deliberately, and you journalists, are also culpable in the whole of this thing. Why would somebody all of a sudden tell you to stop using the word criminals? You know, say bandits. How did just all of a sudden banditry came into the lexicon of Nigerian expression? What happened to pure terrorism? What happened to it? But you journalists also have a great apology to tell to Nigerians. You have lost your courage and your bite to say it the way it should be said. Perhaps because, like Mohammed, who says you pay 10 million naira, or they'll come and shut down your stadium. But Nigerians,
that's not the position. That's not the position.
Look, we know more than sometimes we can afford to say. Bandits did not fall from heaven. Where are they getting their guns? The ransom they are paying, to the extent that they will ask you, you will bring money, you will bring motorcycles. And the federal government of Nigeria is saying they cannot track them. My brother, maybe later we'll discuss this.
Yes. Let's because of time. Because of
there's
time.
more to
Yeah, because of time. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thanks so much.
Just want to thank you, Barrister Tokwe.
Thanks so much.
I want to thank you also, Barrister Shaki Romolaja. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
For our viewers there, we just want to thank you once again for being there for us. My name is Jude Wabuzo. Let's do this again next week. Have a lovely Sunday.